Hey, NBA 2K MyLeague fans, it's Coach 2K back with another NBA 2K MyLeague expansion series video with those Cincinnati Lions. And we got a great video in store for you. We're going to start talking about the draft class, the top 20 prospects in this year's draft class we're looking at that's in the file. And we got some great highlights against the New York Knicks in a game that went down again to the last minute. And we got absolutely torched by one of the Knicks players. So I got some highlights you're going to want to check out. Now the draft class we got loaded up here. This is the second draft class. First though, from BigDougSwan from Operation Sports. I got 7 of his draft classes saved so we can use them in this series. And I'll put a link in the description to Operation Sports so you can read more about his draft classes. He did put together a guide, and so I'm going to kind of read some brief overviews of each of the players of the top 20, preseason top 20. And so you can learn more about these guys and we can kind of follow along during the year, even though I know it's kind of early. So at number 20, Ignis Adamitis. He's a 6'10" forward from Lithuania, 19 years old, a good offensive player, needs to work on his defense. And they kind of compare him to Chandler Parsons. So that's a look at Adamitis at number 20. Number 19, James Townsend. He's 6'11" big from Washington. He's a freshman. He needs to get more comfortable on the perimeter. He's still learning to play down low. They kind of compare him to Skal Labissiere. So that's James Townsend. And the next guy is Hasheem Mcfadden, 6'11" big from North Carolina. He's a sophomore there. Good interior defender. Needs to get stronger. They kind of compare him to John Henson. So at number 18, that's Hasheem Mcfadden. Next guy up is Pierre White III, 6'5" wing from California. He's a sophomore. He's kind of on cruise control and needs to develop a killer instinct. They kind of compare him to Jeremy Lamb. So that's Pierre White III. Joaquin Echevarria. He's a 6'3" point guard from Spain, 20 years old. He's still learning to play and under control and make better decisions. They kind of compare him to George Hill. Fellow Hoosier George Hill. So there's some stat information. Next guy, number 15, Jason Embry, 6'3" point guard from Villanova. He's a junior. He's a poised floor general. Plays well beyond his years, and they kind of compare him to Jarrett Jack. So looks like a nice prospect there, the 15th ranked one. They've been giving him some social media love too. He had a pretty good game against Pip Mitchell, who we're going to talk about here in just a minute. Next guy, Jaquille Payne, 6'5" shooting guard from Syracuse. He's a sophomore. He's a well-rounded two-guard, and he transferred from San Jose to Syracuse, and they compare him to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So he's also been putting up some good stats they've been talking about on social media as well. So we'll try and follow these guys as we go along. Next guy up is number 13, Fame Warren. He's a 6'7" wing from UNLV. He's a freshman there. He's going to have to develop the work ethic needed to adjust to NBA life, and he's more athletic James Johnson, who we talk about in this draft class as well. Next guy, number 12, Sean Little. He's a 7-foot big Arizona. He's a freshman, and he's got impressive wingspan, and he oozes potential. And he's fought some minor injuries. They compare him to JaVale McGee. And he was the MVP at the 2K Hoops Summit this past offseason. So it looks like a pretty good prospect. Number 11 guy, Lino Alves. He's a 7-foot center from Brazil, 20 years old. Refined post game, great size, make him an intriguing prospect. They compare him to Jonas Valanciunas. So looks like another good prospect there at number 11. Number 10, we got Josco Atomic. He's a 6'6" wing from Croatia. Looks like he's playing overseas. He's 19. Got a very versatile game. They compare him to Bogdan Bogdanovic. So looks like he's playing for CSKA Moscow. Then next up at number 9 in the top 10 here, Josh Mackey. He's a 7-foot big from Oregon, a sophomore. And he's got a frame improved substantially over time, room for growth. They compare him to Frank Kaminsky, which means he probably won't be that good. Next guy up at number 8 is a guy named, let's see here if we get to him on the screen, Marcus Carter. He's a 6'2" point guard from Sweden. He's 18 years old. He's playing for Real Madrid right now. He's a unique point guard with a great speed and aptitude for shooting very smart shots, and they compare him to Tony Parker. So he looks like a really good prospect. He'll be one of the fastest players in the league, they say, and he's a good distributor. So that's somebody we want to keep our eye on, especially once he gets in the league. Maybe we can add him. And, again, they've been talking about this guy on social media as well, so they're catching the eye of the news media. Next guy up, Quavion Moore. He's a 6'4" shooting guard from Kentucky. He's a sophomore. Gets most of his instincts on physical tools rather than a polished skill set. Mostly a defensive-oriented shooting guard, and they compare him to Tony Allen. He did have some problems with possession, but vows to put those issues aside. So hopefully he can overcome that. Next guy is Brandon Reese. He's a 6'11" big from Florida. He's a freshman, very athletic forward. He did tear his ACL, and he got a broken leg. And they kind of compare him to Jermaine O'Neal. He's got to do some improving in offense. And, of course, that leg injury looks like he's going to be rehabbing that. It looks like he's already playing, and maybe he's rehabbed that leg. So, interesting story about Brandon Reese there. A little more backstory. You can read about these in that link I gave you. Now, the next guy up, top 5, is Mo Page. He's a 6'1" point guard. Georgetown. He's a freshman. He showed outstanding court vision during his freshman season at Georgetown, slicing up defenses, finding the open man, and they compare him to Mike Conley. So obviously we're still finishing up the season, so these are for after they complete this season. So Mo Page definitely looks like a good guy to keep an eye on. And they've also been following him talking about him on social media. Everybody's out playing Pip Mitchell. Pip Mitchell looks like he's having some issues. I don't know. All right, that's the next guy we're going to talk about. Solomon Pip Mitchell. He's a 6'7" shooting guard from Memphis, freshman, one of the most unique prospects in recent drafts. He excels in many aspects of the game. He's athletic, and his only weakness is his outside shot. They compare him to Reggie Lewis and Rolando Blackman. So still looks like a pretty good prospect, even though he's been getting shown up by a couple of the other guys in the league. So we'll have to see how he turns out. Again, they've been talking about him. He tore it up, 35 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, even though he got outplayed by a couple other players. Top 3 now, Terence Walsh, small forward from California, 6'9" freshman. He'll most likely be picked up in the mid-first round. He can stretch the defense with his deep range and quick release. And they compare this guy to Paul George. Interesting comparison there. Ought to be a pretty good player. And I think he led them to a national championship too, according to the notes that he wrote here as well. Again, they've been following him on social media there. So that looks like a really good prospect. So that's Terence Walsh. Interesting there. Next guy up after Terence is Braden Travis. He's a 6'9" power forward from Kansas. He's a freshman. Nicknamed Baby Blake for the similarities between his game and Blake Griffin's and somewhat physical resemblance. He had highlight, let's see here. They compare him to Aaron Gordon and Blake Griffin, obviously, since that's who he is, kind of Baby Blake. So we got a Paul George and a Blake Griffin potentially going to be in our file after this draft, after the season's over. He's an all-NBA defender probably too. Now the top prospect in the draft, Kendall Hayes, 6'7" shooting guard from UCLA. He's a freshman, natural scorer, graceful moves, and they compare him to Ray Allen and Zach LaVine. And he has potential as a defender due to his quick feet and should be able to effectively defend shooting guards on the perimeter. So Kendall Hayes looks like a really good player as well. I know it's early in the season to talk about these guys, but I wanted to kind of get these guys out here so you could get familiar with their names. And we'll keep an eye on them in social media. And again, you want to learn more about those draft classes. You can't download them anymore, but you can get the backstory on the first 4 or 5 classes to get a little preview of what we're going to add to the league as we go along. All right, so after we finished the Spurs in the last game that we played, we went on to face the Heat. They're led by Akeem Booth, and he's a 90 rated overall, all-star last year, third team all NBA. The guy's a superstar, and he's joined with Damon Bishop, 6'9" power forward, averaging about 20 points a game, a double-double guy. And he was an all-star last year, so there's 2 all-stars on the Heat's team. And then Curtis Jennings, he's averaging 17 and 10, another double-double guy. So the Heat are loaded with players, and he was an all-star, second team all-defense as well. So these guys in Miami are good. I think they were about 500 when we played, and they tore us up. We let the game get away from us, and they blew us out 131 to 106. And they even outshot us from the floor percentage-wise. So you know they were pretty good if they could shoot a higher percentage than we did. We took too many threes in that game and turned it over to, I think, quite a bit. Jennings had 35, Booth 22, Bishop had a double-double, 18-7, almost had a triple-double, had 9 assists there. Pretty good game from those guys as we lost that one pretty much in the third quarter of that game. Jinx had 35, Byers 17, Zing had 16, and Aurelik 00 had 10 and 5. So came up short in that game, and then I had to put that play in there. I like that little post move by Drew. And look at that guy behind the coach. I only had a clip of him, but I wanted you to see that guy in the back, one of the fans. So next game we played was Dante Carr, or the New York Knicks. Dante Carr's hurt. Looks like he's got a sore heel, and he is not going to play against us. He's our top-rated player. Dextor, I didn't see his name, Henson, I think. He's going to be one of their superstars in this game. And then Donatas Brezic from the Republic of Georgia. He had a triple-double not too long ago. So we're going to play the Knicks. So we're playing them at home in Cincinnati. And great game, back and forth all game. They got a double-digit lead on us at one point. And so we had to fight our way back into it. Starting lineup, Lloyd, Zing, Jenks, Drew, and Billups. And yeah, Henson, Dextor Henson is that guy's name. I'm not sure if that's what I said. So he started off hot. I mean, I'm mainly going to show you highlights of Henson, because Henson, he put up 45 against us, and in the first quarter right away he had 10. I don't think he missed a shot until the second quarter. So he was on fire. There he is again, getting in the lane, getting another shot in. And so it was a tight game early. First quarter was back and forth. This Henson grabs another one inside, and I think he'd scored all their points at that point, as we get a highlight there with Gilbert Byers with a nice left-handed dunk there. I still like our pickups in the offseason. I think we did a pretty good job, including him. There's Henson. I think he knocked down a 3 there. He gets another score. So we're in the second quarter, up by 12 now, so you can see we're down double figures as Jenks gets to the basket, nobody in front of him, and he gets the two-handed highlight dunk, and Jenks is just awesome. Here he gets another alley-oop dunk. As we're trying to hang tight in the first half, you can see we're down 8 now. Good dunk off the alley-oop pass from Lloyd. There they got the steal as Oakley takes it the distance and finishes strong with a nice dunk there for himself. Then he got a steal, and he got it out to Brezic. And Brezic scores on the fast break, and he gets fouled. He goes to the line, and he knocks down the M1. And so we had a chance here at the end of the half to get a 3, and we were lucky enough to get that to go down. And at half, we were down 6. I think Henson had 15 at half. You can see he scores there again to start the second half. There he is again, wide open. He's just making Lloyd look like Lloyd does not play any defense. As Jinx gets inside behind, I think Henson right there, and gets a nice emphatic dunk. Nice job by Jinx. And here's Sharif Foy. He's our rookie, knocking down a 3 from the corner. And now we're up 67-60. But Henson will not stop, man. Hits another 3. And here he is again. He's going to take another 3 as we sagged off of him. And 2-point game here in the fourth quarter now. Henson dropping another 3 on us. I think he had about 18 or 20 in the fourth quarter. There, Jinx scores off the backdoor cut. He gets fouled, gives us the lead, and puts us up by 3 with under 10 to go. And here, look at this dunk by Jinx in the fast break. And now we got a 5-point lead. We're hoping to create a cushion. As you look at Henson, man, showing up Lloyd. My defensive skills, when they start moving around like that, I have a tough time. So there's Henson again on the break, knocking another one down. A tie game with 5:52 to go. Here he's going to cut to the basket, and Lloyd gets beat again, fouls him. And they have a chance to take the lead here. And he drops the free throw, and they do that. Now they're up 1 with 5 to go. Here we're going to go inside, and they double team Drew. And Jinx buries the 3 from outside. 2-point lead for us. And there's Henson again, man. Hitting another 3 to give them the lead. And there he gets past Lloyd again. And they tipped the ball, but it came back to us, and Zing took it in for the dunk. But we're still down by 1 here, and we take the lead off of a nice dunk by Billups. And guess who it is? It's Henson again, knocking down another 3. They will not go away here. And there, we get the steal. We're going to get out in the break, and we're going to get it to Jinx. And look him go up for 2-handed dunk, and he misses the dunk, and we don't get the rebound. That was huge. And I thought, oh no, this doesn't look good, as they get the opportunity to score on the other end, and they take the lead with 1:25 left to go. And here, nice play here, they double, and we get it over to Zing. Jinx makes the extra pass, and Zing hits the only 3 he had for the night. And there, they get the offensive rebound, they put it in, and it's a tie game with under a minute to go. And we're going to go down inside to Drew, and they're going to double him. And Jinx, look at Jinx, man, knocking down a 3 at crunch time. And we got a 3-point lead here with 33 seconds to go. Team's feeling good. And another double team. They double the ball. We get it to Jinx in the corner. Look at Jinx, man, knocking down another 3 late in the game to give us a 6-point lead. And we go on to win 120 to 115. We shot well. We played well. But it was a tough game. And we had to score 70 points in the second half just to beat them. So these guys were good. Couldn't believe they played a lot better. I can't imagine the one guy that was hurt. He wasn't even in the game. He's like a 90-some rated player. So anyway, tough game, but we came out on top. So we're happy about that. And for the Knicks, you can see Henson 45 points, 18 of 30 from the floor, 6 of 15 from 3. Brezic had 16. Ray had 12. Fun game though. Had a good time. I was happy, obviously, to get the win. And we're now 6-3 on the season. So we're about to finish the first 10 games of the season. So it's always great to make progress because it is a long season, 82 games. We're going to play them all, 12-minute quarters. So much fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I am Coach 2K. I'll see you on the court in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.